everybody, welcome to the Friday at 6 talk show, the best tech talk show in the whole wide world. Tonight we're broadcasting from the Startup Gallery, the headquarters of the European Accelerator Startup Bootcamp. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live from Berlin. And tonight we're talking about how do I learn as an entrepreneur. And we have some pretty cool guests here at the table. Alex Farset of Startup Bootcamp and Rafael Rein of Do Branch. Give it up for them, ladies and gentlemen. So how do I learn as an entrepreneur? Alex, you're running an accelerator program. One of the accelerator programs that actually the mayor of Berlin, Klaus Wowereit, showed the logo of at a very fancy presentation in Bern, in Switzerland. So you must be doing something right.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Cool.
How do I learn as an entrepreneur? Because people come in here sometimes only with an idea. How do you take them through the whole process of actually becoming a real entrepreneur?
Well, that's the beauty of entrepreneurship, is you don't need a diploma or you don't need permission from anybody except the customer. And so we're all about the experience. We throw them in the deep end, supported by a big network of mentors. And we do this in a very rapid-fire, intense format of 90 days.
Yeah, and a question that actually has been crossing my mind for a very long time, and I hope that you are the guy that can answer that question. Is being an entrepreneur, has it to be in you, or can you learn how to be an entrepreneur?
Both.
No, sorry, not both, not both. I mean, is it a God-given talent, or can you actually learn, can everybody be an entrepreneur?
Almost. Some people are born entrepreneurs and just have it from day one in their DNA. Some people, like me, are pushed through circumstances to become entrepreneur and can still be great entrepreneurs. And you can be educated or at least experience what it takes to become an entrepreneur and go a long way. You don't have to be Steve Jobs from day one. I don't think so.
And you don't need a diploma?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So, Rafaela, you have your own startup as well. It's called Do Branch. Could you, in short, explain what it exactly does?
Yes, we do online mentoring for digital skills such as web development or online marketing or entrepreneurship. Yeah. By giving a mentor in this online experience, we obviously help the people to gain a skill much faster and much more in depth than they could otherwise do.
Yeah. So how does it work? Take me through the process. I go to your website. It's over the web, right? How does it work then from that moment on?
So your mentor will ask you to submit certain tasks.
Your mentor?
Yeah.
Who's the mentor?
We have a great network of mentors that sit all over the world. And that's obviously the beauty of online, that you know, no matter where in the world you are, you have access to some really great people, and you can do it in your own time. And they will review your work, and so you will submit it, they will review it and bring you to a stage where it's really good. So for example, in our entrepreneurship programs, we help people do really good business plans before they actually submit it to, you know, to somebody like Alex to get into a startup bootcamp, or for government funding or something like that.
Okay, so it's really like the early stage. You help them get on the way. Yes. But what I sometimes then think is, you know, in these very early stages, people don't have money. Isn't that a problem then?
It depends. I think there is. I mean, I think it's making priorities, right? I mean, if you really want to get a good business plan and you don't know how to do it yourself, and maybe you don't have many good mentors with that experience, you might want to spend that money just to make sure to get a good quality business plan.
So if I understand you correctly, actually this platform is people teaching to become an entrepreneur.
Not only, so we also have web development and online marketing and design, and sort of we cover the 4 big skills that are really short in the technology industry. And
before you worked at a couple of big companies, right? Rocket Internet as being one of the incubators here in Berlin. What was your position there exactly?
I did the Global Venture Development Program right at the beginning when Rocket started it in 2011, and I founded 3 companies for them, one in China, one in Australia, and one in Taiwan.
Okay, so you have a lot of air miles.
Yes, I do.
And what was it like for them? What did you learn then at that time, being part of Rocket Internet and with their, you know, their way of really like incubating companies from 0 into like 50, 100 employees within a maybe period of time of 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, I think the most important learning was that we did almost the same companies in every country, right? So I did Zalando in all of these countries. And with the same resources, the same amount of money, and always really smart people, some countries just went up, you know, and it was really easy to sell. And in some countries, it was much harder. So, you know, as an entrepreneur, it's just, there's always, you got to stay flexible, and you never know what challenges you will encounter. But on the other hand, it's also with little tweaks, you can still make it happen. And I think that's really what I got out of Rocket, you know. Anything is really possible, you know, as long as you know, have the persistence to go through it.
Yeah, and then you left.
Yeah.
So why?
To found Do Branch.
Yeah, that was even more exciting than like getting these companies all over the world.
Yeah.
From 0 to.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously with Rocket, it's an e-commerce model, so you're really tied to one country. Whereas with Do Branch, we're an international service from day one, right? And getting your first customer from India or from Canada, and seeing people how they're at home in their beds and they learn something from you. It's so much fun. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Alex, what is actually the business model behind Startup Bootcamp?
So we give 15,000 euro in pizza money to each team that comes in to basically make it cost neutral. We mostly have international teams. 6 months of free office space, 148 mentors now, big demo day. And in return, the teams give us 8% equity. And we don't take board seats or any sort of control. We just want to be seen as very useful co-founders. Most of those 8% go to our investors. A little bit goes to us. And then obviously the objective is to have some sort of exit, whether an acquisition or IPO down the road. So I'll tell you if it works in about 7 years.
In about, because you know that the next question would of course then be, okay, what are the big successes of Startup Bootcamp, right?
Yeah, we have some companies doing really well and tracking well, but obviously we've had a couple of acqui-hires, so technically exits, but basically people being acquired for their talent. That hasn't moved the financial needle yet, but we have a bunch of companies doing really well, and we've raised a lot of money for the teams.
Yeah. So why would a entrepreneur take an accelerator program? Because I mean, if you have a good idea, if you have a good team, you have the willpower, not so much to lose, then you know, why just not start? I mean, here actually on the walls you have the text, why not now, right? So why then do an accelerator? Isn't it that just slows the process down?
No, it's the opposite. We obviously, our value prop is you can do a year of progress in 3 months. And I think capital is pretty much a commodity that you can create a startup with very few resources now, online tools you can even distribute and do marketing with very little resource. The key resource we have is people's expertise and connections. And we have over 100 people who volunteer their time to open up their networks and share their experience. And that's gold. You can be alone in your garage doing something, but doing it surrounded by, first of all, 9 other teams that are doing the same thing, and supported by this ecosystem of mentors who want you to go faster, does make you go faster. I can guarantee you that.
It is now in Berlin nowadays, lots of people say, okay, there are more accelerators than ideas. All these new companies that actually start, corporates, for example, are opening up shops very rapidly. It's almost kind of cool to start your own incubator, even if you don't internally have like a network lined up or any concrete idea of what you want to do with the startups, but hey, we have an accelerator. How do you view this development of so many incubators, accelerators in Berlin?
You can be cynical and say, look, it's a marketing stunt and they're doing it to be cool. I think most VPs of innovation of biz dev in most Fortune 500 companies are worrying about innovation. In Europe, especially so. And they're looking around and going, well, my competitor is doing an accelerator, I should do it too. So yes, there's a bit of a me too, but is it a bad thing that big companies want to work more with entrepreneurs? Is it a bad thing that we're educating and accelerating more entrepreneurs than 5 years ago? I don't think so. I mean, Are they all good? Are they all the same? I don't know. Time will tell. But I don't see that movement as a negative thing. How can it be negative? If it's like if Berlin had one school or 10 schools, what's better?
Well, the negative thing could be that young people see it as a kind of a lifestyle thing. You can choose from so many incubators, accelerators. If you're a little bit serious, you can always enter one of them and then just try it out without really being serious about it.
Is that better than going to McKinsey? Or working for IBM? I mean, so what? Yes, maybe some people are surfing the movement and going. And we are seeing a few sort of professional accelerators, but that's actually a minority. Most people are saying, look, I don't have to mortgage my house anymore to be an entrepreneur. I can go and get this fantastic start. I don't have to spend 100,000 to get an MBA. I can come to start a bootcamp or another and get money. It's cost neutral. And in 3 to 6 months, I'll know if my startup is viable. I haven't lost, I'm that much more entrepreneurial going forward anyway.
Yeah. So how about this network? Because Rafaela, you have, we have to change microphones.
Yeah, she can have mine.
Oh, okay, that's very generous of you, thank you. You've spent so much time at Rocket, you've seen actually what entrepreneurs need, right? You've seen also what makes a successful product. You said actually, people at our platform can prepare for a startup bootcamp. So I would assume that you're also in favor of these kind of programs.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I was a banker myself and then moved into tech, right? And I think that really learning to create something from the ground up is so empowering, right? And that's also part of why we're founding Do Branch, and which more and more people get into, but because I think for more and more people it becomes a viable alternative to banking and consulting, right? And I think that is the only way forward, right? That smart people create good companies that then create jobs and that create taxes. Or like pay taxes and keep the world running in a way.
There is also, of course, this kind of stigma about going into an online learning platform. Don't you just start with your own company? Why all this help? Why always turning to others? Why just go for it? Don't look back. Have this American okay, I want to make. So why so cautious? Isn't that also something like a little bit European?
I don't think so. I think there's certain things in life where where you know exactly what you're meant to be doing, but you don't have the experience yet to actually execute it at a good level, right? A personal experience, right? I just raised my first round of funding, and I've never done this before. And having mentors to guide me through the process, and and there, especially the devil lies in the detail, right? Is tremendously helpful, right? And it's something that you need, otherwise you will make really bad mistakes in that process. And it's the same in web development or online marketing, right? If you want to learn a skill really well, it's good to have somebody on your side who, can give you the guidance of someone with more foresight and experience.
Yeah, so maybe, Alex, we should now add, it's not only the product or the idea or the team, but it's also the network when you start.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of our big, actually, I've been stunned at how much of an impact that has. So, the 6 degrees or on LinkedIn, the 3 degrees, the amount of connections that happen through the program is just staggering. I mean, we can list just all of the big brands that our startups connect to through our network of mentors. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. So last thing, what I'm very curious of is that Alex, 2 years ago, you came to Berlin.
Last year.
Was it only last year? Okay, it feels like 2 years ago. Actually, because we met then. Time goes fast, yeah. And you really wanted to do Berlin. You wanted to open up shop here. But actually, at that time, you didn't have a lot. When you now look back at this is it really only 1 year?
Yeah, we moved. I started coming back and forth in March last year. Yeah.
Wow, okay. Yeah. So what is like the main thing over this past year that you've been seeing changing in Berlin, because things are going so rapidly?
Yeah, well, every other person I meet has moved here in the last 6 to 12 months. There's just this sort of talent migration going on, and it's super exciting. That's why I came here, and and it just seems to be growing. And at some point, you know, some amazing things are going to start to happen. But that concentration of smart, motivated people who want to be entrepreneurial, something good's going to happen.
Yeah. And why are you doing it? Why are you involved with an accelerator and with Startup Bootcamp? What is your deeper inner personal motivation?
To impact people's lives. So they're born-again Christians, you know, who see God halfway through their lives and start evangelizing. Well, I'm a born-again entrepreneur. Both my son and I had a serious illness in 2006-07, and I saw the light, and I said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and help other people do it.
Okay, thank you so much. Give it up for Alex and Rafaela, ladies and gentlemen. Every Friday at 6 show, we have a pitch, and people are emailing us for that, and you can go to the microphone and catch some attention. And I am super happy, super happy that tonight we are having a Dutch guy pitching. His name is Mathieu. Actually, he went also through an accelerator program, which is called Berlin Startup Academy. And I would like to ask Mathieu Snape from Cipasso to take the microphone and to introduce everybody here, the live audience, to Cipasso.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Dirk. Thank you very much for your invitation. Good evening, everyone. I am Mathieu Snape, as Dirk just told, and I am the founder of a company called Cipasso.com. Basically, what we do is that we enable everyone to commission artists and to buy fully customized and personalized works of art from them. So, let me tell you why I started this company. Well, people in Europe and North America spend over $15 billion on wall decoration every single year. But buying a piece of art you truly love can be terribly hard. I personally experienced that about a year ago. I was willing to buy a painting, an original artwork for my living room, but it had to suit my existing decor and my personal style. You know, any of the online platforms I was visiting, there were works of art that, you know, either didn't have the right color, it was too expensive, the dimensions weren't right, or the works of art didn't really suit my style personally. You know, going to an art gallery wasn't really an option because choice is very limited, and really art galleries are just made for people with art degrees, right? Also going to Pinterest, I was scrolling through these countless pages, and I just couldn't really find something that I liked. Then I figured out that 90% of the artists in Berlin, but actually all across Europe, earn less than 15,000 euros per year from their creative work. And they are very eager to create more business doing what they love. Well, my online marketplace, Cipasso, solved those issues. We enable everyone to commission an artist and buy fully personalized paintings, drawings, and graphic designs to put on your wall from them. All you need to do is tell us what you like and how much you would like to pay. We match your request to talented artists in our network that can create amazing works of art just for you. And we allow artists to create more business and make more money doing what they love. We will take a 25% commission at an average order value of about 400 euros, which is half of the commission an average art gallery demands. We are a team of 3 with over 10 years of experience in PHP development, design, and online marketing. We are working with our first customers, and we already have a commitment from one angel investor that is eager to invest in our company. I am currently looking for a co-founder that can act as a product owner and preferably has some experience in PHP development. And we're also looking for a second angel investor to join us on our exciting journey. If you are that person, or if you know anyone that would be interested in discussing that with me, please let me know after this pitch. And well, I also really look forward to just connecting with you and learning about your feedback. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mathieu, and I'm sure that people after the show will come up to you and tell you what a wonderful speech that was, and maybe even more. So I'm very excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So our next guests, and they also deserve a very big applause during this live event, during the Friday at 6 show, are Fabian Schumann and Nicolas from Liberio. Give it up for them, Nicolas Zimmer. I wrote down your name, it was too small, so in the nerves I forgot. Right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we met this week, it's really awful, sorry. Nicolas Zimmer of the Technologiestiftung Berlin and also founder of Liber.io. Right. So to start off with you, you're into tech and into more or less politics, right? That seems like almost a strange combination in Berlin.
Well, actually, yeah, it's rather uncommon, but it's not strange, I would say. I think it's something which is actually getting more and more interesting for people, especially from the tech scene, to have more contact with politics. And if you're coming from the other direction, having been a long time in the local parliament, and I have already been here in the local government, then it's something which makes it easier just to, let's say, match things, right?
Yeah, why?
Because there's some kind of gaining of understanding. On one hand, you know, I think I know a lot about the tech scene. I know a lot about how to fund a company, how to run a company. I can actually write code. That's something which is not the normal case with politicians. But on the other hand, you have noticed in the last couple of months that the startup scene in Berlin is getting more and more involved into politics because people learn that they have to voice themselves, right? When they want something, when they want their ecosystem to develop, then they have to raise their voice. So that's, I would say, mostly the way we are now connecting more and more.
Yeah, because the topic of tonight, Fabian, is how to learn as an entrepreneur. You are with iVersity. What's your role there exactly?
I am head of academic partnerships, so that means I work with professors and universities creating online courses at iVersity.
Yeah. Do you recognize what Nicolas is saying?
I don't know. I didn't really get what he was saying in a way.
Really? Oh, okay, Nicolas, then you have to explain it better. Or weren't you paying attention? That's also possible, of course.
I'm really not sure.
You're really not sure?
It might be.
No, okay. So
I'm sorry.
Again, Nicolas, try to explain it again.
Okay, that's hard, right? Obviously, you know, when you are looking at the startup scene, until last year, we did not have any like the Bundesverband Deutscher Startups. So they're gaining momentum in organizing themselves. So basically, my assumption was you have on one hand more organizational level on the startup side, and you have more understanding on the politics side what is interesting and necessary for startups.
Now even I understand you. So I mean, Fabian.
All right.
Is it true that this helps this like of upgrade of organization level?
Probably. I'm not sure. I mean, the thing is, I'm not that involved in the entrepreneurship, and I'm not. I have to admit. I mean, I'm not a founder, so I haven't went through the problems of what it means to be a founder, and if this is now improving or not. I just have to admit.
Yeah, but I mean, as iVersity, you've gone also through a process of getting these partnerships. Of course, you know, coming actually from a university, and you've also, in my imagination, you've also experienced that there is kind of a gap between, like I would say, like maybe the old world and the new world, so to say.
That is definitely true. I mean, when we are a startup and we are working in the higher education area, and this is not the easiest area to work in, just because, of course, higher education institutions and universities are really slow, and they are definitely way back in terms of just how far they are, like from technology perspectives. And what we had to do, actually, to get into this, to really get going, was to partner up. We partnered up with the Stifterverband für Deutsche Wissenschaft, which is one of the most renowned. You know, like I want to call it. I don't know. It's like NGO. It's really like a complex thing. Even their president, as always, when he wants to explain it, he's like, "Yeah, it's too hard to explain what we actually are." But they are one of the biggest financiers of projects in universities in higher education, and we partnered up with them, and this allowed us to access institutions of higher education. Before that, it would be really hard.
And now the cultural aspect. I mean, how different are these developments going in the United States? When you look at the online courses, university professors or the CEOs of universities taking, you know, a half year to a year off to really study this movement of online courses. How do I learn? How do I develop myself? Is a university degree even still worth something? And then here in Germany, not only like the politics, but also the universities, it's such a big difference. How come?
Well, I mean, the reason is pretty simple, I believe. In the US, the higher education sector is way more driven by money. I mean, universities in the US have a marketing budget of about 35% of their overall budget. This is like they pay 40% for teachers, for professors, and 35% for marketing. So the money factor, like how to actually like get higher education like at a cheap level is way different. And the university the presidents are really driven by like cutting spending and earning money.
Yeah. Okay. So how can diversity now in this corporation with this, academic institution can change maybe that way, how they look upon you?
Well, how they look upon us, I don't know. I mean, definitely since MOOCs have started, since this new like wave has come upon.
How do you call it?
MOOCs.
Okay.
Massive open online courses. Okay, I'm sorry. I've just been to too many conferences. It's just a term which is terrible.
MOOCs. Okay.
It is a terrible term, but it has somehow like been present for 2 years now. So since this has happened, e-learning and the whole online education has just completely come onto the surface and has been one of the major developments in online everything, like on the whole, but also at the universities and the higher education institutions. They really now realize, hey, online is actually something which we should focus on now, which might actually help us to really do something else and do something new.
Yeah, Nicolas, it took some time, but it seems like that also now within the Senate, but also within important organizations such as the Technology Stiftung, they kind of seem to understand now what the potential is that lies within this new digital economy on the rise, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, on one hand, you can say that Berlin realized exactly what gives us growth in economic terms is the digital industries. And everybody is very proud of saying Berlin is a startup hub of Europe. Probably it's not the only startup hub in Europe, but it's one of the major startup hubs in Europe, right? And it's very attractive for young people from all over the world to come to Berlin, to live here, to work here, to start something new. So that's something where people realize entrepreneurship in Berlin comes mostly from the digital industries. And our question is not only how to make sure that this goes on, because nobody wants to have it just as a hype, but what we want is to have some kind of sustainability. There's a typical German idea of making things sustainable, but when we are talking about ecosystem in Berlin, which makes it possible to have your own startup, then we have to think about how to make it sustainable, how to make sure that this will work also in the next 5 years. That's one question. But the other question is, how can we create that dynamics, or recreate that dynamics we have in the digital industries in the more legacy industries, right? In the classical economy. What can we learn from each other? On one hand, what can, let's say, the typical German word, Mittelstand, you can roughly translate it with small and medium-sized enterprises, but that's not really correct. But when you are talking with mittelständische companies, then they are very traditional normally. Yeah? They are family-run, family-owned, and they have a perspective of, let's say, they want to produce their stuff in the next 100 years. Mostly the same way they did it in the last 100 years. And that gives stability. And when we are able to mix the dynamics of the startup scene with the stability we have in the classical small and medium-sized companies in Berlin and in Germany in general, I think we can recreate growth and momentum also in those industries, because not everybody is able to earn your living in the digital scene. Right?
I don't want to be disrespectful, but this sounds like the perfect world, also like the perfect marketing story. But we know that it's not reality yet, right? Because if you look at these small and medium-sized companies, sometimes they're world champions within their own product line. They always spend like 10 to 12% on research, for example, and that is, of course, sustainability, to research on what the business model and the next product line will be in the future. But if you look, for example, at politics, or they are not demand-driven. They spit out all their programs and their subsidies and their Förderungen, and they don't really care as long as the budget is gone by the end of the year, and that's then it. So how do you turn that around?
Yeah, I mean, that's only part of the truth, right? Because, you are accountable as a politician. You have, at some point, you have to tell the people what you have done with taxpayers' money. And if you can show and prove that you have taken the money and to do something useful with that, it's normally better for your political career. So also politicians are very keen on finding instruments and vehicles where they can use taxpayers' money in a better way than just spilling it out. And when you're looking to what Berlin did in the last couple of years with, for example, it's called Projekt Zukunft, which is a funding for the digital and creative scene, it did a lot of good in building networks, in enabling people, in matching people, not just giving out funds. And we have also in Berlin programs like Profit, which is our central funding instrument in Berlin, which is running very well. So when you're a startup, you have normally no problems in Berlin to get seed money, for example, and that's important. And I think that politics are also realizing that we should have a look at more, let's say, crowdfunding instruments, for example. Matching public funding with crowdfunding would give both of best, or the best of both worlds. On one hand, you have some kind of small market tests with the crowdfunding instrument, but on the other hand, you have the money, which is, well, it's not in abundance, but it's a lot of money we have as a state to spend and to channel that in the right direction.
Yeah. So Fabian, how did you in the end convince this more traditional organization to partner up with you?
You mean the Stifterverband?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have done a lot of research in online education before, so they were actually really easy to convince. Those were really like, yeah, we want to do this, and we want to like try to get the.
But it took you as Iversity more than 2.5 years, I think.
Well, no, that is not true. I mean, we just changed directions. I mean, what we started out with MOOCs was the beginning of the year when we sat together at a hotel conference room in January, and we're like, okay, so how do we now create this MOOC platform? And in March we started a contest with the Stifterverband.
Right, that's true.
So this actually was. This was pretty straightforward. We tried before to like talk to universities and talk to professors on level like, hey, why don't you do this? Yeah. And this just didn't work out. This was not possible. It was only trying to like find host the contest and then let the professors find you, who actually were already eager to do this.
So what's the future then? What's the future then in Germany when you still have this like very traditional, okay, you need a diploma, you need your master, otherwise your parents who live maybe in Mainz are not happy with you, then you're not a good German boy.
I don't know if this will change in the near future. I mean, you have large-scale policy goals of increasing higher education rates and having more students actually than not less. I mean, what is definitely, I guess, becoming more and more of a thing is that universities now start to have projects for entrepreneurs. I mean, for example, we have a course which is called Social Entrepreneurship, where the University of Kiel actually has a MOOC where everybody in Germany, at least in the German, because it's in German, in the German-speaking countries, can at least try to learn how to be a social entrepreneur and actually try to fulfill their dreams. And maybe those are the ones who actually drop out afterwards. You just say, like, okay, now I kind of like took everything out of university I wanted to learn, and now I become a social entrepreneur. Yeah. This might be.
So you believe that there's a bigger potential that we now see in Germany of people who skip university and will start as an entrepreneur right away after high school?
No, I wouldn't go so far. I don't think so. I just don't think so. I think it is something where I guess there are more projects right now, and this is more easily able. But on the other hand, there are more and more people studying now, and so like more and more people actually go into university. So I don't think this will really change dramatically in the near future.
Do you agree with him? Because I mean, Alex Varsad of Startup Bootcamp ended the interview by saying, you know, I'm a reborn entrepreneur. I totally believe that this is the way to go in life with all the values that come along with that. And then Fabian says, well, the Germans will never get it.
Well, I don't think that he said that exactly, because Germans are, well, on one hand, they are probably not risk seekers, right? There's most of the time they are more risk averse in some sense, but on the other hand, they have entrepreneurial spirit, because when you are looking at the German economy, I mean, it's one of the largest in the world. So you can safely say that people here know economics and have a sense of being entrepreneurs. But the question is, how do we bring entrepreneurship in the universities? Because that's something which is usually not taught there, right? What you have with lecturers is that they give you the theoretical side of life and how to bring in the practical side of life. That's something which is an important question, of course. But I think what we did in the last couple of years in reforming our higher education system, having now bachelor and master, having people with a first degree, giving them the opportunity to do something in real life and then decide whether they want to come back to university or want to start their own company or want to work in a company, that makes education faster. And that's something which is important, of course. But I think Germany has a good chance of getting more entrepreneurial spirit into universities. I mean, that's something where we're spending a lot of money in the next couple of years when you're looking into now the treaty between the Social Democrats and Christian Democrats. They want to spend a lot of money into that, and that makes sense, of course, to do that, because that's something which state can do. The public money can help to, for example, to give professors at the university incentives, right, to teach more entrepreneurial spirit or to become entrepreneurs themselves. When you're looking to the US, I think that's the main difference. An American professor at the college or at the university is always thinking about how he can have his own startup, for example. That's something a German professor normally does not have in mind. But if we can incentivize them to do that, that will also spill over, I think, into what they did in high school and in the colleges. Yeah,
but not just go to an accelerator after high school and then start out. Really going through the university still.
I mean, you need some skills, right? And when you have acquired those skills outside of university, it's fine. So there's no need for you to join a college or a university. But to acquire skills and to learn how, let's say, economic mechanics are working, apart from how to code something. That's something which is of importance. And when you're looking into our startups, normally when you're looking at the CFO, that's somebody who has a solid way of being in a bank before, studying economics and stuff like that. Because an investor always wants to see that your company is stable in some kind of way. So you want to have the creative minds, and creativity is something which is really not learned in universities. But you also need people who are able to run a business.
When it's really important, when it's about the money, then you have to actually really know something.
Exactly, I would say so, right? I mean, would you give your money to somebody who is a brilliant mind, but is not able to keep the money? I mean, that's something where you have to think about. When you are an investor, then you want to have some return on your investment. And then you are looking into the people and say, okay, that's a brilliant mind who has the ideas, and that's the one who is running the company. So I think that's everybody who is running for funding knows that an investor wants to see what's in it. And if the company will bring in a return on investment in the next couple of years, so the company has to be there in the next couple of years. And you have a high dropout quota, okay, but at least 20% must make it to the exit.
Fabian, you want to respond because I saw you nodding and laughing and...
No, I mean, the question is just, like, university has to change, I believe. I mean, the question is, do we want to have more people drop out and become entrepreneurs? Do we want to have university change in a way where it enables people to become entrepreneurs? I believe that is actually something where, and this is, I hope for at least, where universities are now moving towards that a little bit, to actually, that there, I mean, of course, like, incubators are great and everything, but university is also a place where a lot of smart people come together and open up their mind and kind of like, can become creative and like work together. And my question would be if we shouldn't just like insert kind of like this entrepreneurial spirit more into university.
Okay. Interesting. And I also would like to end like in a positive like mindset. So I think this is the perfect end to this interview. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Fabian and Nicolas, please. Don't go yet, because we have an open mic session, and this gives people the opportunity to speak at the end of the show, to tell something about what lives in their heart, where they're passionate about. Sometimes it's even like people who want to pitch. So are there some people who dare to take the stage to try to get the attention of investors, of other interesting people in the crowd on them? And then I have to turn around. It's always so painful when nobody comes to the microphone. Ah, okay. Please, go ahead. Here? That microphone, yes. Yes. If it's, yeah, very good.
Hi, my name is Sherry Williams. I'm involved in a project for people that are looking for jobs in Berlin. Hot topic. And I do training in German and in English for people that are looking for interviews. So we do interviewing skills, and you get to practice your interview. You get to record a mock interview. And we have a workshop coming up next Saturday, December 7th. So if anyone's interested, if you sign up tonight, you get a special price. And yeah, hope that's helpful. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Sherry. Awesome.
Hi guys, my name is Nathan. You may recognize me as the guy who's always telling people to move in or to be quiet around the show. I wanted to be here today to tell you that I've got a startup called hinwise.com. It's like Hinweis, except we're wise about it. It's a bit interesting there. We do database solutions for companies. We're corporate database solutions. And right now, I'm actually looking for someone who speaks Arabic, who needs a job until about Christmas or so, just a simple data entry job. So if you're looking for some connections and a simple job before Christmas, and you speak Arabic, give me a call.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. So one final last call for somebody who wants to say something. I don't think so. Everybody wants to start drink beer and eat pizza. So, which is of course also a very important part of this whole evening. Before we're going to listen to some music, I actually have to tell you that this was the last Friday at 6 show of this year. And next year we'll be of course back with a whole new series of Friday at 6, but for this year, this was the last episode. Of course, you can still reach us through email, FridayatSix.com, or come up to me on whatever you want to say, and maybe we can cooperate. At this moment, actually, I am looking for people who want to join me for next year, and I'm looking for lots of different disciplines. So if you're really good at finance, if you're really good at organization, if you're really good at marketing, then please drop me a line, derek@FridayatSix.com. So I want to thank you, everybody here, for coming and for also watching online in 2013. And we're going to end this show, not the event, but we're going to end this talk show with a wonderful performance of Erit. And every show we have live music, and this time Erit comes from Italy. He's an awesome singer-songwriter, and I want that the audience here, the live audience, gives him a very, very big applause, because he's going to play a couple of songs for us so that we can easily go into the atmosphere of celebrating the weekend, because that's what Friday at 6 is all about. At the end of the week, we start celebrating live entrepreneurship, and we slide into the weekend. See you in 2014, and now a big applause for Erit. Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm sorry if I gave you a nickname since from the start. Something like, you're my little heart. And I'm sorry, and if I always tell you what I feel. But if I have a dream, yeah, I like to keep it real. And I understand. And if you still don't trust in me, because you don't know me, and I don't know you too. But when I'm with you, my hands are so cold, but my heart is so warm, because you, lady, you turn it on. My hands but my heart is so warm because you, lady, you turn it on. I used to say a lot of stupid things just to make you laugh, because I love your smile. Sometimes I cross the line, but when you think I'm not, I'm there with my mind. Ooh, yeah, yeah. My hands are so cold, and my heart is so warm because you, lady, turn it on. My hands are so cold, and my heart is so warm because you, lady, you turn it on. You turn it on. You turn it on. You turn it on. Thank you. All right, the next song is my last song. The title of the song is Guapa, and it's in Spanish, and it does like this. ¿Cómo te llamas, guapa? Quiero bailar contigo. Cuando te veo me desmayo en el piso. Pareces un ángel del paraíso. Aire de verano. Quiero bailar contigo. Cuando te veo me desmayo en el piso. Pareces un ángel del paraíso. Quiero bailar contigo. Quiero bailar contigo. Bailamos despacito tú y yo, corazón. Sobre esa música nació nuestra pasión. Bailamos despacito tú y yo, corazón. Sobre esa música nació nuestra pasión. ¿Cómo te llamas, guapa? Quiero bailar contigo. Cuando te veo me desmayo en el piso. Pareces un ángel del paraíso. Aire de verano. Quiero bailar contigo. Cuando te veo me desmayo en el piso. Pareces un ángel del paraíso. Quiero bailar contigo. Quiero bailar contigo. La primera vez que yo te veo, mamita linda, ya te deseo. Ya escribo para ti una canción. Hay una atracción en tu dirección. Un aviso no parece verdadero. Tú eres guapa, un dono del cielo. En este mundo algo de protegido. Con tu corazón directo me conecto. ¿Cómo te llamas, guapa? Quiero bailar contigo. Cuando te veo me desmayo en el piso. Pareces un ángel del paraíso. Aire de verano. Quiero bailar contigo. Cuando te veo me desmayo en el piso. Pareces un ángel del paraíso. Quiero bailar contigo. Quiero bailar contigo. Hay muchos chicos en su alrededor, pero solo yo la trato con amor otra vez. Hay muchos chicos en su alrededor, pero solo yo la trato con amor. Come on. ¿Cómo te llamas, guapa? Quiero bailar contigo. Cuando te veo me desmayo en el piso. Pareces un ángel del paraíso. Aire de verano. Quiero bailar contigo. Cuando te veo me desmayo en el piso, pareces un ángel del paraíso. Quiero bailar contigo. Quiero bailar contigo. Quiero bailar contigo. Yeah. Thank you.